for Outside Xbox here at Eurogamer Expo on day one of the show. We're here with Frank O'Connor from 343 to talk about none other than Halo 4. Now Frank, it's nearly done.
It is nearly done. Most of the content is finished. There's a few things we're still working on, sort of certification and stuff. We'll do an announcement when it goes gold, of course, but it feels like we're nearly across the finish line. The one big piece of work that's still going on is Spartan Ops, because we're making it like a TV show, and so most of the gameplay is finished, but the fiction itself is still in production, and it's going to be in production right up through launch.
So that's the episodic co-op content, Spartan Ops.
That's right. And it airs weekly, just like a TV show.
These missions spin off from a weekly cinematic series set aboard the ship. Each week, a new episode will be released along with 5 new cooperative missions.
The scripts are done, the acting is done, the motion capture is done, and we're starting to get the first episodes in and kind of see the whole thing come together. But it's fiction, and it's like a primetime series. You start airing it even as you're finishing the final episodes. It's going to feel like a complete story, but it's the beginning of a saga. So you'll get to the end, and you'll know a lot of new things, and you'll feel a lot of new feelings. But ultimately, it's definitely the beginning of a story rather than the end of one. And it's really about the Master Chief's destiny and the fates of people around him.
What are the new feelings we're going to feel in Halo 4?
Feelings of itchiness, nervousness. No, we're trying to make it a more personal story. There's a lot more character in it, and there's a lot more humans in it, frankly. Halo often felt like kind of a solitary experience, and we still have that. We still have that feeling of solitude and exploration and wonder, but we've kind of compounded it with some really interesting character interactions. I think it's funny that Master Chief is faceless and somewhat emotionless compared to Cortana, and he's the human. And yet she's the one with the wit and the banter and the emotional arc, and she's artificial. So it's an odd reversal of roles in a way, and we're going to explore that. We're also going to explore something much more fundamental, which is that AIs in our universe have a lifespan of about 7 years before they start to enter a condition called rampancy.
I was put into service 8 years ago. AIs deteriorate after 7.
And we're going to see how that affects their relationship and how it affects the rest of the story. It's going to manifest itself mostly in the fiction. We don't want to interrupt your gameplay experience, and we don't want to have it be an irritant for people who are trying to explore the game or master skills. So it's going to be a big part of the fiction, and that's mostly where it's going to stay.
We saw some Covenant and some Prometheans, the new enemies. First of all, to the Covenant, to the classic Halo enemy characters. Do the Grunts still talk? Do they still speak?
They do. Joe Staten voiced the original Grunts, and he stayed with Bungie, obviously, so we didn't get the joy of his banter, and you should hear him record it. It's awesome. A lot of the stuff that gets left on the cutting room floor is some of the best stuff. So we've taken a slightly different approach. We tried to make them, they're still not going to be savage monsters, but we tried to make them a little bit more threatening and a little bit more alien, and kind of still trying to respect the legacy that Joe had imbued them with.
And the balance between the Prometheans and the Covenant are more familiar. Are they supposed to be less frightening than the Prometheans now?
There's still a huge challenge, and I think where the game really turns around, you saw in the demo that the Prometheans were fighting the Covenant. Well, eventually, and it's probably not a big surprise to a lot of people, they're going to team up against you, and that's going to completely change the matrix of combat variety and encounters.
So there's some synergy going on between those factions.
Yeah, it's not a healthy synergy, but yeah, they're definitely cooperating.
Welcome to the beginning of your new Spartan career.
If we can talk now about your approach to the multiplayer. It's been a long time since Halo 3, obviously, with its premiere multiplayer, but the landscape's really changed. How do you revitalize the multiplayer but keep that Halo multiplayer feel?
I think that people spend so long in their Halo career. You were talking about thousands of hours in some cases. That we wanted to build a game that actually rewarded that long-term investment and that sort of commitment and dedication to the game. So there's a real career system in. In previous games, there was an aesthetic one, which helps us sort of maintain the balance of gameplay. So when we decided that we were going to make a much more rich career system that actually affected your abilities, we took a very high-level philosophical view that it still needed to maintain balance. So you will be able to unlock weapons, and you will be able to expand your loadouts and your general abilities. but ultimately it's not designed to give you a superpowered Spartan.
Flank assassination!
It's designed to let you tune your Spartan to play the way that you want to play, rather than to give them, you know, deadly skills that are going to unbalance the combat scenario.
Double kill!
Part of the beauty of Halo multiplayer was that level playing field, so you've tried to maintain that with some unlockables as well.
That's absolutely retained, and typically when somebody beats you with a different loadout, they're going to be beating you based on style rather than content.
Double kill! Killing spree!
Great, thanks for your time.
Thank you.